Warning, spoilers ahead. Welcome to the Operation STRIX podcast. I am your host, The Crow. Joining me today, as always, are Roski Draftsman.
Hello.
And Cool Blu-rays.
Hello.
You always want to say something, Roski. You should just go ahead and say it.
No, I it's like, should I say something?
Yeah, I mean, if
I have to say something, I'm drawing a blank.
I'm so nervous. Yes. All right, we're here to talk about chapter. I don't even know anymore. What is this? 74.
I think it's
Yes.
Mission 74.
Mission 74. It's been a
God
month.
damn it, Endo! Like, make your numbers clear.
Yeah, well, it's clear now, thankfully. But yeah, it's been about a month since we've talked about the manga because it hasn't released, obviously. And this is what so far we see is the culmination of this entire hijacking arc. I guess that's what we'll call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
so going back to what we were talking about last chapter.
Uh-huh.
How do you guys feel about how this ended? I just your gut reaction to this.
My gut reaction is that it felt a little anticlimactic.
Okay.
My gut reaction is that it got wrapped up too quickly. A little too convenient.
Okay.
For like the way Billy. Anyway.
Well, no, I mean,
I'm trying to
because I think we're all in agreement on that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like a deflating balloon because it built so much intensity and then boop. Oh yeah, he had a change of heart.
It just fizzles out, you know.
Yes.
It doesn't leave with a big boom. It's just like.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I mean, all right, yeah, I mean, I agree. I guess it's better to contextualize why we feel this way. Okay, all right, going into what actually happened. So, okay, it starts off with Yor, and we were talking about this last time of Yor being the first one to know something was up. And it kind of played out exactly like we called it. Like she gets home and she's like, "Where's Anya?" And she calls Sharon of all people because I don't know if anybody else remember. Well, obviously us in the server remember.
Oh yeah, of course we do.
Yeah, I had been asking about this forever.
What are the deep-seated lores of the series?
Yeah.
Of whether or not Sharon's son got into Eden Academy or not. Because she talked about it in chapter 2.
Yeah, and then it never came up again.
Well, you saw them in chapter 4 when they actually
We saw
go
them
to
during
the
the
academy.
interview.
Right.
We had no confirmation if her son actually made it, which is
Right.
kind of weird that they didn't even have Sharon and Yor, who constantly work together, be like, "Oh, isn't it crazy? Our kids go to the same school."
Right. Well, Sharon's just a bitch along with Camilla. So she doesn't even talk to her.
Is that even surprising?
Well, okay. So apparently, I mean, she at least knows Sharon's number, and she calls and she asked like, I heard, the field trip was canceled because Yor calls Eden first, and they're like, no, they're just late or something like. That's what she was asking. Whether
what a horrible.
It's and then she has to find out through Sharon that it's
I know.
like, oh no, all the kids are, my kid's back, and she's like, what the fuck, like,
yeah,
it's so shitty, like, just the thought, like, and we're already getting into it of just like the details, but I mean, you put your faith in this school that they're going to take care of your child, and then they lie bold-faced, like, right to you. And it's like, how the fuck are you supposed to trust them after that? Like,
you don't. That's
right.
No,
that's
that's
the problem.
Like,
you don't.
That is fair to say a deal breaker. Like,
oh yeah, like
Yeah,
I would have. Yeah.
I know we talked a bit about what we thought could happen after this chapter. I mean, we should talk about the chapter, but
No.
I could see. I could honestly see Yor and Lloyd butting heads about like, should we keep Anya in the school or not? Because Lloyd needs her
that's
there,
an
but
interesting idea.
I mean, yeah, Lloyd needs her there, and Yor would be very adamant about no. She can't stay there. We can't trust them to take care of her. How can you possibly allow her to stay at this fucking school? And Lloyd, I don't know what his excuse is going to be about. Like, she kind of needs to. So no, we're not going to transfer her out. Like that's insane.
Right.
But that feels like a really real conversation or argument that they would have about this.
Yeah. We'll come back to this.
Yes.
We will definitely come back to this because that's a point I didn't even consider. All right, so we cut back to Anya. We had talked about Anya's plan, about what she was planning on doing. She gets up there, and she's like, I have absolutely no idea what the fuck I'm doing. And it was like,
of course.
Okay, right. That's what I was saying. I was like, okay, I was kind of like disappointed about that, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, she's a 4-year-old girl. Like, I don't know what to do in that situation.
Yeah,
Why would I assume that she knows what to do?
She's panicking.
Yeah, she's just like, I gotta do something, and then gets up and is like, what do I do? So I feel for her in that instance. But her grand scheme was to be like, I'm hungry. I want more rations. And then what proceeds after that is the only thing I can describe is like a Lloyd spiraling moment.
Yeah.
Of like, right? Yeah.
He just started jumping to every possible like interpretation of what Anya meant by saying she's hungry.
Like it's so stupid that he's like, what could this possibly mean? Like
I mean, it's pretty straightforward, guys. Like,
yeah, she said she's hungry, and then suddenly he's thinking about like, oh my god, has Ostania lost so much power that they can't even feed these rich kids? It's like, no, it's not that deep. Oh my god.
And you brought up the point that Billy hasn't been in Ostania for a while, so like he doesn't know what's going on. So maybe like, I mean, he honestly like clearly believes that like, okay, something's up. Like, oh, these kids are starving. Like, what happened while I was gone? And then he starts thinking about Biddy, and we get that wonderful like, well, it comes after all the bullshit, but he's thinking back to like when Biddy was like feeding the cats, and how she he thinks that because Anya inadvertently quotes Lloyd to make herself seem like she knows exactly what she's doing. She's like, I want to make a world where kids don't need to cry,
but there are kids.
Right. And Billy's like, oh my god, that's just like my daughter, and then like has this like really deep, touching moment about his daughter, buried in all of this stupidity, I guess.
The thing is, the thing is, the problem in this equation isn't really Billy. Not quite, because like the struggle that Billy has with the morality of his actions and who his daughter actually was and what she was and what she was willing to do. It's really compelling. It's really touching. It's how we get there that is the problem. It's that it's like a bad case of Ace Attorney. Like when the story isn't compelling, you can feel the bullshitting.
Oh yeah,
because I mean, Anya pretty much pulled a Phoenix right here, like
Phoenix, right?
I mean, if you haven't played the games, the guy half the time doesn't know what he's doing. He just blobs his ass out until something clicks and he can.
Are you serious? That's the game? I have no idea what Ace Attorney is. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he's a lawyer. He's defending people. He half the time doesn't have the entire build of evidence, and he has to like bullshit his way out of tight situations.
Like a real lawyer.
Yeah. Like you have to play Ace Attorney. It's hilarious. Yeah. But the thing is, when the story isn't built compellingly enough, you can feel those themes.
Yeah.
And you can feel the theme here, because the bluffing Anya is pushing out doesn't feel like dramatic enough. Like it has enough weight behind it to push this realization from Billy. The realization itself isn't the problem. Is
how we
how
get there.
we get there that it doesn't doesn't stick the landing.
It's too comedic. Like I wouldn't have minded comedy like he did like when Henderson gets on the bus. Like that was funny. Like that was like it was still serious, but it's Henderson being like, what the fuck is
it didn't detract from the drama. It's like,
right.
Yeah.
Here it does. So that's the problem. But okay, so we get past that, and we've got this moment with Billy, and Biddy is just this very noble person who just like can't see people suffer, and I mean, you definitely get the sense that Billy's very proud of her. And then once she died, he was just like, fuck everything. I'm going to do everything I can to, take out this government that took my family from me, basically. And it's just like, it's so frustrating because like it's such a good setup, and then it just gets buried in Anya bullshit, and it's like
I wouldn't call it buried. I think they gave that scene enough time to play out, at least.
I mean,
it felt impactful enough, but I agree it was very much kind of sandwiched between Anya being crazy again and giving Billy this realization for himself, which it's I don't know. It's like, I'll take it, I guess.
yeah.
It's like, I have to take it. What choice do I have here?
Right.
But I mean, it is, I think, very sweet, because I think we had called it that Anya would remind Billy of his daughter.
True.
And we see how far the extent goes for that.
Right. Like, what was it? So Endo had made his usual drawing that he does for each chapter, and the drawing he did was Anya feeding cats, like Biddy fed cats.
Yeah.
So that was like, that was really sweet, and like I get it. Like I like that moment, and I like the moment after he's thinking about Biddy, and like Billy staring at Anya, and she's staring back up at him because she could see what he's thinking.
Right.
And and I don't know, like they just have that, like what we've been saying the past few episodes, just like Endo does the really good like staring out, and like you could see them thinking. So that was a good part right there. And then I do like everything that came after that moment of like, even though it didn't play out the way I thought it would, it still was kind of like Billy being the hero at the end of it.
Well, I'm glad that he didn't have to die to.
You were right. He didn't have to die, apparently.
I mean, he's gonna be caught by the SSS.
Hey, okay, Roski, one thing at a time, okay?
Just let Blue have this for a moment.
Yeah, come on, let me have this win just for a second. I want to pretend that he didn't just get killed off by the SSS after this moment, okay?
Right.
I mean, let's see this as a win for the kids. They didn't have to see a man gun down in front of them.
Yeah, bonus.
Right.
It's great.
Nothing but good things. Yay.
Yeah, no more traumatizing the children.
Yeah. Trauma.
Yeah, let's just give ourselves a second here, because we got Billy surrendering himself.
Yeah. And okay, the whole him surrendering thing comes on the heels of him admitting to basically what we had talked about last podcast the last chapter. He's like, the Red Circus's methods are wrong. I never had any delusions about that, and I didn't do anything to stop them.
Right.
So that tells me two things. One, obviously, it goes back to us saying that like he's not a bad person deep down. He just had made bad choices.
Right.
But it's also him kind of letting us know that like he wasn't pulling the strings. Like we had also talked about that, him being like almost like a figurehead, because they're not. The way that's phrased, it tells me that like Red Circus at the end of the day was telling him what to do, and like not necessarily that he was leading it.
Right. He never believed in their message, but he played their part that they wanted him to play.
Right.
Because he didn't care to stop them otherwise, and like it didn't really work out for any of them at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I am glad that Billy went down. At least we got to know that he went down knowing who he really was, and that his heart was never really into this in the first place. And
yeah,
he
went down with closure.
He did. I mean, you could say he kind of went down gracefully, I would argue, because he at least got to do it in his own way, I guess. Yeah. And like he even went as far as trying to not throw his other members under the bus, saying it was all my idea. Like he was willing to just go off on his own.
Yeah, but the sentiment was not returned.
Yeah.
As we saw.
Yeah.
Fuck that bus driver. Fuck that bus driver, man. Like, I want him to get shot. Like, straight up.
Well, he did, kind of.
Oh, well, that was just painful. That was just painful. But,
at least he got some kind of consequence for almost killing a bus full of kids, because Martha comes in and
he fucking rams a bus full of kids, and they don't have seatbelts, so it's like Anya goes flying. I'm surprised she didn't get hurt.
Yeah, and then he was like waving around as a fucking human shield.
That guy, like, and he's
like, and then
and what is it?
We got Martha coming in.
Oh, okay, she's not on the bus when it happens. No, I was gonna say, like, the girl was standing in the doorway, and he just fucking, he nails it, and like she falls out.
Right.
So yeah, he's just like, he was
this
from
bus
the
driver,
very
dude,
beginning. He was in it for himself, like saving his own
Vadam, is that his name?
Thank God Martha was the one. Fucking Martha, man.
I know.
Martha coming in clutch.
They were really not to shoot her. Shoot both of them.
She was introduced into the conflict for a reason, so. I mean, the crazy part about this, like the really crazy part, is that it's not that it's just cold-hearted, because it is, of course. But that is just that it's also pretty stupid, pretty
short-sighted.
No, more than just short-sighted. It's like counterproductive. Everyone is watching you. This is not a secret anymore. They are gonna see you openly fire shots at a kid.
Yeah.
So,
but they're
not gonna cover that up. So
well, they don't care. They don't care about covering up at this point. Like they just want to look as
just want to take it down
as possible, right? They just, if anything, it'd probably be better for them in the eyes of everybody. Like, oh, don't fuck around with the SSS. Like, don't kill kids. Like, do anything that they say. Like,
yeah, but that kind of thing is where the cracks start to appearing. Well, right. People, the people that do this kind of shit do not see it until they realize, oh, we fucked up. But
it's just, I mean, I don't even know how to feel. I mean, I'm just glad, obviously, that it didn't come to that. I'm glad Martha came in, kicked ass, saved the day, and we get to know her name now. It's Martha Marriott.
Very cool.
Super appropriate. Fancy hotel chain. So like,
I love how
it's another alliterative name.
Yeah, I love the names when they have the same first and last initial. Desmond,
Damian Desmond, Donovan Desmond, Martha Marriott, Becky Blackwell. Yeah, it's
the
like
DDs,
the
BBs, the MMs.
Yeah, it's the same shit in Marvel. Peter Parker, Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I never even noticed actually.
Yeah, it's a very common problem
Doctor
in comic books that you have.
Okay, so that takes care of like all of the action that happened this chapter. Now we go back and we deal with the fallout because, like Roski had said at the beginning, it's all in the news now. Everybody knows.
Yes.
So going back to in the beginning, where your obviously finds out. What was the point that we had talked about of your something involving
butting heads with Lloyd?
Yes,
butting heads with Lloyd. Yes.
I thought maybe they would argue about whether to keep Anya in school or not, and they would legitimately fight over this.
Oh, that'd be
obviously,
so good.
it's very conflicting. Lloyd knows that Anya needs to stay there for Damien, but Yor is right. Anya shouldn't stay at a school that doesn't care about her safety.
Right.
And so Lloyd now will probably be faced with a very difficult decision over, do I trust Wise on this, or do I trust Yor on this? / maybe his own instincts kind of bubbling. Because he's like very torn, I'm sure, between the two options.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he will be. He doesn't even know that what happened at the moment.
Yeah, that's another thing. He doesn't even know about any of this. So he's just going to be coming home to like, well, what happened?
Hello, I'm home. What happened? Anya was kidnapped. Wait, what?
Yeah. He's like, oh, I'll just take a day off. What could possibly go wrong? Comes back, what the fuck happened while I was gone?
Right.
Yeah,
I like that gif with the guy with the pizzas.
Oh yeah, this is fun. Things on fire. Yeah.
Oh yeah, from Community. I love that episode. That episode's so funny.
I mean, I guess it just all depends on when Lloyd is getting back. Like we don't.
He can't be gone for more than a day. That'd be insane.
He has to be back.
It's already nighttime though, and he's not back.
But he can't. Does that mean we're gonna have to wait till like the next morning when Anya's back at school for him
That'd
to hear?
be fucking crazy. Like I don't know, because we hadn't even talked. It hasn't been mentioned. Like, did he go out on a business trip, quote unquote, or is he just like out like longer than expected? Like even then, more and more I see.
Oh god, okay, idea, terrible idea.
Okay, because I think it might be the same idea I have, but go ahead.
My idea was just, what if Yor has to call Lloyd and tell him herself that this is what happened when he's gone? Because she's like, I don't know where Lloyd's getting back. Lloyd, we're gonna have to talk because something happened with Anya at school today.
Oh shit!
Wouldn't
That's
that be
good
awful
too.
if Yor had to tell him?
That'd be so great.
That'd be so awful.
No, it's great because then we get even more angry. Because I want Lloyd to get mad at Wise for not telling him,
and his
then
own wife has to tell him.
Right, right.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, what was your idea, Crow?
I was gonna say no. Mine was worse for the wrong reasons.
Oh.
I was gonna say I was gonna add fuel to the fire, but you're getting angry about like, well, why is Lloyd out so late? You know, and why is he always out so late? Like doctors shouldn't be out this late. Like I want to like put the pieces together, like something's wrong, but not that he's a spy. That he's actually like going out and, like I wouldn't say he's cheating, but like he's not telling the truth. So that just makes her even angrier. We
dealt with the cheating thing, so we gotta move on from that.
Well, I don't think it was cheating. I think I think it's different. I think this time, like, Yor actually feels like some, like, ownership over the relationship.
Yes,
like,
but this is not the right time for this kind of drama. That would not be on your
mind. Want all the drama, Blue. I want everything
overlapping together.
Chapter. Yes! Like, yeah. I mean, this would be the perfect way to do it. Honestly, I don't think it's going to happen that way, but I do think it's going to happen the way that we've been thinking it's leading towards, of just like either it's going to be Yor and Lloyd fighting, or it's going to be both of them dealing separately with the issue, especially if because Yor is going to know that it's Red Circus because it's on the TV. So she's going to think back like, fuck, is this like, maybe she doesn't have any context for this. Maybe she thinks it's retaliation for taking out Red Circus. So she's going to take that even more personally.
Ooh, shit.
Right. Ooh. And then Lloyd's got the whole thing with Handler, and like I don't even know what that's going to, entail, like how bad that's going to be, that conversation.
I hope it's bad.
I hope it's bad too.
Yeah.
I hope it's so bad. I would just want everyone to hurt.
Guys.
There has to be some drama on the way. Otherwise, what the fuck was this?
Right.
Yeah. What was it all for?
It was very anticlimactic, as you had said. Like the comedy, unlike the previous chapters, detracted from the tension. Okay, so, but I think Endo's really good at tension when he like puts his mind to it, and I think he's putting his mind to it. I think this is what's the word? Like it's like not a fake out, but like false sense of security.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Oh,
yeah. People might be going into the next chapter or something thinking, okay, so it's over, right? And it's not over. It's
not over.
By a long shot.
No.
This is barely beginning, you guys.
Ugh.
Like,
Yes,
I
it is.
mean, they set up you're getting worried for a reason. Like,
Right.
they wouldn't set up that up if that wasn't gonna pay off in some way.
oh yeah. Yes.
I don't know. So I would be very disappointed if it was minor. Like, okay, so like
there's no way they could treat this minorly. Like, this situation is too dark, it's too serious for them to. What parent could possibly be okay after this? Would you feel okay if you found out that this happened to your child? I know I wouldn't be.
No,
Like, fuck
Right.
no, like that's a parent's worst nightmare. Well,
yes, that is. That's one of their worst nightmares, is their child being in danger and they didn't know. They couldn't do anything to stop it. They couldn't be there to protect them.
right.
That
yeah,
is,
it's like, oh yeah,
like the worst
your
nightmare
daughter
of
almost
any
got shot in the
parent.
face. That's oh,
Right.
but she's fine. Like, no.
No, she's certainly not.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's just I don't. Oh, it's okay. Somebody else had said, what was the other possibility of your was it you're doing something? I
Like taking
don't-
Going after
revenge
Billy?
or something. Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, or maybe that was it. Maybe her going after Billy, either her or Lloyd going after Billy. And okay, were you the one that brought up Lloyd going in disguise to like talk with Billy?
That was the idea I had. Yeah, was him maybe wanting to kind of vent his guilt and frustration out on this man that he can physically harm and blame, even though
Right.
really Lloyd's just more angry with himself. That was like the idea I had in mind, but I think
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
else mentioned like the disguise thing. But like it was like the same idea. Like
Yeah.
he finds Billy, he wants to beat this man to death, but really Lloyd is angry and guilty of himself, feeling
Yeah.
like he wasn't there for his daughter when she really needed him to
Right.
be there. And him having to, well, you know, like the idea was like, okay, him and Billy honestly having this conversation about like, how do you learn to be a good father? What does it even mean to be a good dad to your
Yeah.
kid when you're deathly afraid? Because I mean, Billy is living Lloyd's manifestation of this fear of losing Anya. He lost his daughter. Billy
Right,
had to
right.
live through that. How on earth is Lloyd going to learn to even comprehend that idea? And like, it probably would freak him out.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even imagine.
Like-
can't even imagine how he'd possibly cope with knowing any of this information going forward.
Yeah, like I agree with that. I think the only difference would be, I don't think he would go to like beat his ass or anything. I think he would go to interrogate him, because I have this like idea in the back of my head that like, okay, he has the angry discussion with Wise, and they basically tell him like, just focus on the mission. You know, this doesn't have anything to do with you. Not like that, but you know what I mean. Like, what's done is done. Just focus on what you're supposed to do. And I think he might go rogue a little bit and like against Wise's wishes.
You know something?
No, go ahead.
Fun I thought would be interesting is if Lloyd kind of pulls a Sunshine move and kidnaps this dude just to lock him up in a fucking room.
No, not Sunshine. We're not bringing up Sunshine.
Hey, I just wanted Lloyd to go dark. Okay, give me.
He's not gonna go that dark.
Why not?
Because it didn't end well for Lloyd, and I don't want him to be the bad guy. Okay.
Okay.
For all the people listening to this, like, who the fuck is Sunshine? Don't worry about Sunshine.
He's just a very fucked up character from one of Crow's fics. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
I'll be worrying about it now because I've got the idea in my head. But no, we're not going to talk about that.
I know
Nope.
you're tempted to write it. I know you are.
I'm not. No, Hip would write it. Hip
You're
or
right.
SK, right?
You're right. Or Dice. Dice might be tempted too.
Oh, Dice would, yeah.
They love their terrible, disgusting,
Angry
trash
Lloyds.
taste angst. They want that toxic ass soup.
Hell yeah, that's soup.
Good soup.
Let's go, Pop.
Good soup.
God. Anyway.
But there's so much like
I know there are so many different avenues this could go. Most of it kind of, I think, leads down to the fact that Lloyd wasn't there for this entire incident, and that's going to really fuck with him. And I'm looking forward to that personally.
On multiple fronts. It's gonna fuck his relationship. The only one who's not gonna be affected, I think, is Anya. Like, Anya doesn't blame him for anything.
Which is hilarious, because she was the one stuck on the bus in the first place, but... Of course she wouldn't blame him. I mean, he wasn't there. How would he have known?
Right.
You know?
I'm just thinking, like, I don't know how much is going to be placed on Lloyd's shoulders. Like, I know some of it is going to boil down to him not being there, like 100%.
Right.
I just don't know again if Yor's going to take it out on him or if she's just going to be like take it out on herself for not being there. But you know, at a certain point, Lloyd's going to play a focus in this. I don't know if he's going to be the complete focus, but it's definitely going to be a major part of this fallout is him, you know, coming to terms with the fact that, again, he wasn't there. He, I think it would suck less for him if this was the first time that happened. But this is like the second or third time where he's just like hasn't been there and Anya's almost died. Like at what point is he just gonna like look at himself in the mirror and be like, I failed as a father? Like right? I mean, like, goddamn. Like,
okay.
I failed as a father.
Yeah, I mean, he already feels that way. I think.
I know.
Yeah,
I know, man.
No, it's just
going very various different directions.
Yeah,
including we have seen what are the most juicy, meaningful, impactful ways this can go. What will be the most anticlimactic it can go? Because it won't be unaddressed. But
I think anticlimactic wise, it would be, because you're right, it has to get addressed. But I think the most anticlimactic way it would go is, you know, Lloyd obviously has that talk with Wise. Handler says to basically just don't worry about it. Focus on Operation Strix, and Lloyd does. Like, he still has his doubts, but he shuts up and doesn't pursue it further. And then Yor would also, you know, be dejected, but she wouldn't. I mean, she might take it harder than Lloyd, but at the same time, she'd be like, the only thing I could do is focus on my assassin work, and then just like, you know, go through the motions on that. I think that would be the most anticlimactic, you know, while also confronting the elephant in the room. But I don't know.
You cannot ignore it, but at this point we have to prepare for the wars, for the best and the worst.
For you think we're gonna get let down again next chapter?
Man, I know it's always a possibility.
I think. Okay, so I know that you said that this would be super anticlimactic, and I agree, but it would be interesting if it did go that route and they allowed these characters to like stew in their anger and their frustration and guilt over multiple chapters potentially, and then they kind of just have a breakdown of like something goes off and then they all kind of just lose it. You know, Yor and Lloyd both, they like maybe they get affected in their work by the situation when maybe they're, you know, not acting like themselves or not feeling okay, and it would be interesting if they went that route of allowing them time to be like, okay, they're trying their best to move on from the situation, but they clearly don't know how to do that.
Right.
You know,
right.
And they are struggling, and they keep thinking, you know, okay, we have some good days and we have some bad days, like coping with this trauma in what feels like, I think, arguably a realistic way, because no one can go through this really quickly. You don't get over a situation like this like in the next day or another week if you're lucky. Right. It takes a lot of time, and I think it would be a smart way to use the situation to really show these characters kind of breaking down a little bit and slowly having to realize that, you know what, I'm not okay. We almost lost Anya, and I still blame myself for it. Both of them, Yor and Lloyd, still feeling like it's my fault that I wasn't there for her, or it's my fault that I didn't kill off Red Circus when I had the chance, and I have to give it my all at work to guarantee this will never happen again. Like, I feel like in like a way, there's a chance that this situation could make Lloyd more reinforced that he has to be better. He has to be the best agent he can be, even if that means practically killing himself to achieve that goal. And I could very much see Yor in that same bone of like, we need to atone for our sins. Let's just break our backs, working as hard as we fucking can, because that'll make things better. And Anya's over here like, I'm kind of getting ignored and neglected by my parents because they're so ridden with guilt that they don't realize that all I really want from them is for them to be here with me.
Right.
Be part of this family, to talk to each other and stop feeling so fucking like using their guilt as a motivator.
Yeah.
Because Yor's already done that. Yor's already done that with the boat arc.
Yeah, that's true. So I think that would be a good way for this to go. I don't know if that's exactly how it'll go, because I know other people had different ideas of, well, maybe they'll just start really quickly breaking down or something. But it's like, I think they need time to stew in this. And I think we need to see how much this affects him over a multiple of chapters before we finally get to that conclusion, because that would be really good writing if it went that way. I have no way of knowing, though, if it'll go that way.
Well, no, it definitely will, because, like, just thinking about it logically from, like, the time frame in this manga, it's on the news. Everybody knows now. Everybody's going to be talking about it. Yor's going to go into work, and Sharon's going to be talking about it. All the girls are going to be like, hey, how's Anya? Like, what's going on? Like, they can't escape it. And it's just going to get brought up again and again.
Yeah.
And it definitely is going to be a long, drawn out thing. I just don't know how hard everybody is going to take it. I guess that's what it boils down to. Like, how hard is it going to hit Yor and Lloyd? And
I think at least for Lloyd, it feels like it's going to kind of, like, all the progress he's made as Lloyd it's like going to come shutdown mode or something, where he's going to just push all of that aside to be Twilight.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I feel like that's a direction it could go into. Like, he just goes down hard on, I'm just going to focus on being Twilight.
No,
and
but
I'll be...
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. It just, like, this feels like a possible way that this could go for Lloyd's character, that he just really doubles down on, I will be a really good agent more so than a good father. Because trauma and coping with it does really funny things to people's, like, logics and sense of reasoning, you know? And Lloyd's character is all about how much he overthinks and overanalyzes everything. And
I don't know.
He's made some very stupid interpretations.
He has, definitely.
So,
I just don't. I don't think he would think that way, though. Like, I think because being Twilight, in his eyes, I think logically, because he is very logical, I think in his eyes, he would see being Twilight as the reason why this happened. Because the reason he's not part of this is because he is undercover for Wise somewhere else, and not focusing on Strix, not focusing on Anya.
And he is the reason why she is at Eden in the first place.
Right.
Which is what put her in the vulnerable position. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know. We did talk about this a lot before, and I do agree with a lot of this, but I guess I'm just thinking about this in terms of what is, like, the unhealthy way that this could result in, like, what is, like, the unhealthy conclusion that these characters might come to instead of a better one, because they don't know any better.
But I think it would be unhealthy. That's the thing, is that I
know, that's what I'm saying. This is the unhealthy conclusion that they might come to. Lloyd thinking he has to be a better agent more so than a better father. Well, that would be the fucked up way to go.
No, it's also unhealthy that he blames himself.
Yeah, like, I think this will be a point where he doubts himself as an agent, or not even as an agent, but doubts his position as a father and an agent at the same time, because they're both interlinked. And I think the fact that, you know, or at least the way I think it would play out in my mind, is him, you know, being confronted with the fact that, okay, you know, me being Twilight, me focusing on the mission, because that's always gotten him, you know, that's always been the right thing to do, is focus on the mission, do what Wise tells him to do, and that'll create a better future for everybody. But that didn't happen this time. He followed his orders, he did what he's supposed to do, and a bunch of people almost died. So, like, what is he doing, you know, being Twilight, when the same shit is just going to happen regardless of whether he's over there or not? So, like, ironically, this is like, I hate, you know, self. I hate bringing up my stuff on this podcast, but like, okay, like what the last chapter I had in my fic, it was about Lloyd confronting that, like, you know, him and Frankie are talking. He's like, well, what good is, you know, me doing this if the world is going to go to shit in the end? And, you know, Frankie's like, well, the world's already gone to shit. So it's like, you can only do the best that you can do. And I kind of want Lloyd to have that same, you know, train of thought in the manga. It's just going to take a long time for him to come to terms with all of this, you know, which is, you know, what we think is going to happen anyway. So, I don't know.
So many juicy possibilities.
I just wanted to throw the other idea out there.
Go for it.
No, that was it. You know, all the stuff I had been talking about like him just doubling down, because I know that'd be really fucked up and the stupid move to go. But he's been doing this for so long. Like, this is stupid. I mean, he's stupid, but also like, this is who he's been for a really long time. He's kind of forgotten who he used to be before he was Twilight. And, you know, the war took away a lot of whoever he used to be as well. So he's just a very hardened individual, and he puts a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. So just my train of thought was, he would think that he needs to just, for some reason, double down and you blindly kind of follow orders, because maybe that's just the best route. Maybe if he just shuts off his humanity and stops caring as much, he won't be so fucked over whenever something like this happens again. I know that's not probably where it's going to go, but it was an interesting thought.
Well, no, okay, you know? Guys, I'm thinking like, okay, what if this is the moment where like, he confronts his relationship with his father, or the fact that he is becoming his father, where his dad wasn't around when all this shit happened.
We're getting pretty Freudian here.
Well, I mean, this is it. This would be the point where that happens. Like Anya almost, I mean, him and his mother, their entire lives were ruined, and his dad was nowhere to be found.
Right.
And like, I don't know if it would like trigger something in him, just being like, I am the absent father.
Oh my god! He's gone for like one day, and he's like, "Oh god, I'm an absent father."
His dad was always gone, though. That's the thing. Like, okay,
on
in the boat,
trips, right?
in the boat. Well, yeah, business trips. But no, I'm talking about Lloyd. But like,
yeah.
You know, Anya brings it up in the boat arc where, you know, they're like, oh, you know, it's so weird not having Mama around during dinner. She's like, well, you're always gone, so you know, it's the same thing. Like, if I was Lloyd, that would hurt. That'd be like, oh shit, like, you know, like, oh
god, my kid's noticing I'm not around a lot.
Just like his dad, like, oh my god, like
the parallels, you guys. Oh fuck! Oh, I'm gonna throw up from the stress.
I'm gonna throw up so good. This is the best throw up.
You're gonna throw up all that bird seed.
Yeah, no, sorry. I'm gonna edit that out. Oh boy. But I mean that, like, that's this is why I'm not okay. Yes, because we had talked about it. Like, I'm not disappointed in this chapter. Like, I have a feeling about this chapter. It's not disappointment. It's just like begrudging acceptance, I think, is the best way to put it. It's just like, okay, this is what we have to put up with in order to get to the real like angst of the story, I guess. Like, that's where I'm at with it right now.
I hope.
Yeah, I hope.
Yeah, my head's just about in the same place of that. Like, okay, I know, you know, I think of like sometimes these moments or these chapters, like they're building blocks towards something better. And,
right.
You know, now we've come down from the high again, so we can expect things to maybe be kind of stagnant, maybe a little low. I have no way of knowing what we can expect next chapter, but we've come down from that really crazy high, and now we have a lot of shit to look forward to going forward, you know?
Right.
And I don't know if it's going to be kind of like a slow burn kind of continuation of the feelings and the situation of how these characters are going to feel. Once Anya settled back at home and she's safe and sound, and they have to deal with like Eden and the consequences with everything that's been going on with the police and the SSS, and like why is even getting somewhat involved, which was like interesting because I don't really see what they did to help the situation. It was really like
they dropped the tips about the second bus, I think.
Okay.
Hey,
I think that's what it was.
There's a second bus. Do some shit.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought they would have had a more active role, but I'm glad that they still did something.
Can we talk about that though? Because like, that would piss me off even more as Lloyd. Like, I don't know if it would come up in the conversation, but just be like, well, okay. He'd be like, all right, they didn't tell me, but at least they helped, right? And like, they would just be like, oh yeah, we dropped this hit for them, and he's like, are you fucking
guys
serious?
weren't even
Like,
in
that's
the
all
field?
You did?
Yeah.
You weren't even there? Like, what the fuck? Like,
oh Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, like that's why. That's
oh God.
I don't know. My head's. I'm so jumbled up right now. Like
you sound more jaded than anything.
I'm looking. I feel like a crazy guy right now. I'm like just like pulling my hair out, but I just because I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know how this is going to play out. I know it has to happen. I know Endo wouldn't just leave this as the elephant in the room. Like, it's going to get confronted. But, like, I don't
hard
know. And then on top
it's hard. It's hard. Because we haven't really had a situation like this happen before. This is like a first. Where
not where everyone... No, go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, basically, it's just they both know that Anya was in immediate danger and they couldn't do anything about it. They weren't even around. This was completely out of their control, so how are they going to feel about this, you know?
Right. And then you've also got Yuri, who got shot, and then that has to be addressed. Like, you know, even if it's just, like, played up for laughs, like, oh, you know, I hurt my shoulder at work or something like that.
Right.
Like, Yuri's still going to have to confront that, too, of just be like, I took a bullet for this kid. Like, I don't even like her. Like, you know,
and he can't even brag about it to Yor or anything.
Right, and then that...
I don't think he did it for that reason. I'm just saying that, you know, he can't talk about this.
Well,
he can't mention the fact that he took a bullet for Anya.
And all. I think that's an opportunity
he's
for,
just gonna
for
have
Yuri.
to. Yeah, I mean, that's gonna be a good opportunity for him to learn that. I mean, he never seemed like a glory hound to me or anything, to be fair, but
he was a praise whore. He is a praise whore. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. Sure.
He is.
You could say that or just say glory hound like a normal person.
Praise whore.
Either way, he can't talk about this with Yor to earn respect and love from her or from Lloyd or anything. This was purely kind of a selfless act, and he's going to have to live with that.
Right.
Basically, and maybe get reprimanded by his superiors for being a kind of a dumb shit, but you know, that's a whole other issue.
Right.
Yeah. You got shot in the shoulder and
and it was for some little kid. Yeah. Lloyd's little kid.
Lloyd's little kid. Fucking Lottie. I am still interested. I'm like tapped out right now. But okay. Like but there's also other stuff in the background that, you know, I'm wanting to see. Like I definitely want to see what the deal is between. I have this like headcanon that McMahon, Martha, and Henderson like all know each other. Like, you know, what was it? Avatar that was like all old people know each other. Like I want that to be true here. Like,
I would love that. I think Hype made the idea like, what if Martha's like ex-Garden as well or something?
Oh.
Which I thought was interesting because it's like, well, Martha did do some pretty impressive leaps over someone's shoulder. That's not something
that's not soldier shit.
Someone's head.
Yeah, I mean that's like soldier shit, but it's also like that's a very specific kind of Yor move, to be honest.
True,
because she's the one jumping over people so like gracefully and elegantly like that, you know,
mm-hmm.
all the time. And it's like Martha can pull those moves off too.
Yeah, like I feel like you'd have to be like a cold-blooded killer for Black Belt to like trust you with his daughter. Like,
yeah, but also be somehow comforting
dignified
and nice enough to also take care of the child. Because Becky does, you know, she likes Martha. They seem to get along. She's not like intimidated by Martha. Martha has like a very badass, cool grandma kind of great aunt vibe or something, you know?
Yeah.
Huh.
And I mean, it's like she's terrifying, but also very comforting to be around. And like, I mean, that's basically Yor to the T, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe she came from Garden or something. That'd be kind of fucking crazy.
Yeah, at this point, we're going in tangents.
We just entered crack territory. I mean, I already had a lot of crack.
I don't even think it's that crack. Like it's a distinct possibility.
Well, I don't mean just this. I meant something else that happened in the
Oh,
server.
do tell.
Okay. My super crack theory that became somewhat liked by people, and I did like art and shit, but it was like, oh, what if shopkeepers like Donovan Desmond's dad? That was my crack theory.
Yeah, it's very crack.
That's crack, dude.
It is crack as hell. That's what I love about it. I just wanted to throw out, like, what is the most wildest shit I could throw out that makes absolutely no fucking sense, but would be really fun? Just because, like, well, how crazy would it be if your dad is, like, he runs, like, this underground shadow government organization.
That's also trying to take him out. Like,
yeah, and also hates his own political party. I mean, that's... Don't you love the drama?
That would certainly be some drama.
Yeah, I just wanted to get it out there. I love that crack theory.
That's fine. I'll leave it in. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But yeah, so as far as this chapter is concerned, like what else is there to talk about? Like legitimately, I don't even know if we missed anything. Is there something that you guys wanted to point out?
I mean, I'm gonna ask a simple question that probably is gonna have a really simple answer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Henderson was there.
Yes.
He saw how things unfolded.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, as redundant as it will be, will this get Anya another Stella?
Yes. I think so.
Okay, I know people had talked about this in the server. I know I talked about it too, about how like, oh, Anya deserves a Stella for this. But I'm just like, I'm like beyond the point of like, do we really care about if she gets rewarded by fucking Eden Academy for this shit? Like, isn't it just more important that she was in danger? Like, what?
No, I mean, but it wouldn't mess with the question, like, because if anything is, I don't know, I don't remember exactly who wrote that fic, but yeah, she won a Stella at the cost of risking her life. I mean, it would play into it because, if anything, it will reinforce the elephant in the room. Like, oh, we can't not talk about this fucking thing if our daughter is walking around the house with a sign of, "Hey, I almost got killed by terrorists."
God.
That so. I see what you're saying with it. I agree. It would cause it to be on everyone's mind. But here's my thing. I think it would add to Anya's troubles if she did get a Stella Star, because the other kids are petty. Okay, like, and on top of that, unbeknownst to everyone, because Anya was doing this in order to save everybody, but like everybody saw her just like fucking with the bomb and just like being stupid. So like they all think she's just fucking crazy, right? And then for them to give her a Stella for heroism, I don't think the other kids would like that very much. I think her walking around with 2 Stella Stars would make her a target for all the kids at school. Okay, so she's gonna get picked on.
Not only that, but fucking Lloyd would be horrified, I think, to have to see that star as a reminder of what happened.
Yeah, that's what Roski is saying. Like, I think on that front, yes. I also think, it would cause more drama at school, especially because everyone's on, just on Damien's coattails, and he only has 1 star. And if Anya jumped ahead of him for being stupid, I think that would just make everyone even more mad.
Actually, I thought maybe he and Anya would get Stella Stars because he also
because he actually did it on heroism. Like,
oh, but wait, was that before or after Henderson got on the bus?
That was before I think Henderson got on the bus, but I think Anya would be willing to vouch for him. Plus, I mean, Becky did some pretty heroic things, and Billy did too. Not Billy Squire, Billy Watkins. So, at the very least, it's like, well, maybe those 4, they did some very notable things during that situation that I think would definitely garner a Stella, if we want to go that route and talk about this.
I mean, it might end up being a good thing. Like you said, all 4 of them get Stellas, and I don't know what that would entail
But at the cost of their
afterwards.
safety? Yeah. Okay.
Still a friends.
Yeah, I mean, right. It's like, okay, everyone gets a Stellar Star because, you know, your
You
parents are
almost
mad at
died,
us.
and
Like,
You all survived the fucking hijacking. We'll give you all Stellar Stars for that.
here, have a gold star.
Yeah, I mean, is that not insulting? It's so insulting.
It's such a slap across the face, yeah.
Literally. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
parents are like, you really think you could just give us a fucking Stellar Star and call it even?
All the kids
like,
are like, fuck yeah, Stellar Star!
The parents are like, you fucking bastards.
Right.
How dare you?
Maybe. I mean, that might be a talking point. They're like, oh, everybody gets a Stellar Star, and the parents are like, yeah, there better
You think
be
that
fucking
makes
more
up?
to that.
Yeah, you
right.
think that makes up for the fact that our kids were in danger?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a whole other talking point right there. So that's interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't
I'm
even
still
really
mad at
consider
Eden.
that.
I'm still kind of mad at Eden.
Oh,
about
yeah.
that. I mean, to be fair, they took a lot of instruction from the SSS who wanted to cover it up, but
Yeah.
also like they have a duty beyond the police. I think to let the fucking parents know. If that's just me. God damn. Also, I think I'm hearing a cat losing its fucking mind.
I know. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, kitty cat is out of the room.
Oh, that's what it was. I'm trapped in here. Someone help me.
Let me at it. Well, she lives in this damn room. Like, I don't know. As soon as I get in here, she wants out. But
She doesn't want to be anywhere near you.
good. I don't want.
Well, fine.
But-
I don't like you either.
Exactly. But yeah, no.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
no. Eden. Like, and I'm trying to think of. Yeah, no. I can't think of any possible way this is going to end well for them, or like
Oh,
I
no.
don't see how they're gonna spin this to not look absolutely terrible. Like,
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No. It's this is too big of a situation to be covered
Yeah.
up. You can't just pacify parents like you this isn't just some ridiculous like, oh, the kids like got covered in mud or something because they all went out hiking or some shit. Like, this isn't just like an accident from a school trip. This is legitimately a very dangerous fucking situation involving criminals and the police and them staying out all night
mm-hmm.
on a bus. That's not okay. That's not. Can't cover this up. Absolutely not.
I have a thought that, adding even more drama.
Okay.
What if there's fallout for Eden as well? Like,
Oh, absolutely.
What if parents start taking their kids out, and you know who would be the first one to take their kid out? It's fucking Black Bell. Like, they take Becky out of the school, and Anya's all by herself.
Oh no! Don't do that to them.
I'm
Oh
saying
my God.
he would. I mean, maybe Martha
know,
might
I
come in between them and be
know.
like, no, like, she still has to go to school, like, but I
She
don't
still
know.
has friends or something, but I could see Becky's dad being like, no, absolutely not. I mean, he was there on the scene with the whole situation. Who knows
Right.
what he could have heard or saw with them talking about make sure to shoot down the fucking
That's
criminals.
true.
Like, who cares
That's
about the
true.
hostages? That's
I didn't even. Yeah.
he was right there. I don't know how close he was to the whole thing, but like he was there with
Right.
the whole situation.
Like, I wonder how much power he actually has. Like, how much he can bring the hammer down on the SSS and be like, look, like, maybe gets directly at cool. Him and Desmond are business partners, so he might straight up tell Desmond, like, yo, you need to get a fucking rein on your SSS guys. Like, I don't know. Like, there's
Ooh.
fallout potential for every single party involved in this. Like,
That's true. That's true.
like, this really opened the door
Ooh,
for
yeah.
everything. Like,
A lot of we might finally get some more looks into like the Austanian politics and the big major players in the political side of things,
yeah.
like their priorities, because we talked about like how we felt personally that Austania was only doing this as a show of power when their real priority should have been taking care of the children, making sure they were safe. But all
Mhm.
they were concerned about was we don't work with terrorists, we don't negotiate with them, we're going to take them out.
Right.
That was their main concern. The SSS's concern. The police were actually trying their best to like, hey, don't fucking shoot the kids or something.
right.
Oh.
Right.
But
So.
we might get a very interesting look into like the Eden parents themselves
hmm
and like what kind of roles they will play in this whole political, like, this is going to spark a very controversial, I'm sure, discussion between just Austania in general, the general public and the political figures and the parents involved and all the things meshing together. Like,
Yeah.
Who knows what the hell could happen from this situation? But like, it's a very big spark to be going off of.
Right.
You know.
I think this hijack arc is going to lead directly into like a recovery arc. And so we're gonna, like you said, we're gonna get like a whole volume worth of just like, you know, maybe we'll have one chapter just devoted to one thing at a time. Like we might just have one chapter about Yor, and then a whole chapter about Lloyd, and then, you know, Eden and Henderson and all of this stuff. Which I think would be appropriate. You know, it's kind of like you have to give the spotlight to all of these ideas and thoughts going through these people's heads, and I don't think you can contain that in a couple chapters. So
yeah. I'm also going to call it, I think Billy Squire is going to be on the cover of this volume.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
That's my headcanon or theory or whatever.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, Endo's kind of running out of characters here.
I want Martha, to be honest with you.
Ooh, Martha would be good. I would like
that or Henderson.
McCann.
Yeah, McMahon.
I don't know how to say his freaking name.
McMahon.
Or Shopkeeper and Desmond, of course, Melinda.
Yeah.
All the other major characters. Like, I want to see them get their own covers eventually, you know? But anyway. But, yeah, there's a lot of different things that could occur from this one event. And that makes it terrifying and exciting almost.
Yep. I agree. I definitely agree. And I think that's why I'm not disappointed with this, because it's, I think the Yor part saved it, and then the very end where like the media knows about it. So like, if the media hadn't gotten involved and they covered everything up, I would be disappointed. I would have been pretty peeved.
Oh, but, I agree. So I'm glad that it got out there somehow, and now this is going to be like a topic of discussion for who knows how long. You know,
right.
Like,
it changes the whole manga. Like, it changes the whole scope of like what we can expect, and like
I just realized, like, beyond everything else, like just with the media coverage and stuff, and then probably maybe talking. I don't know how much they're going to be able to talk about these underage children in the media, but this is going to put a lot of attention on Lloyd, who his whole job as a spy is to not stand out. That's going to be really hard to do.
Oh shit!
That's going to be really hard to do.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh shit!
There's going to be a very bright spotlight shining on the Forger family.
That's good.
Juicy. Love it. Love to see it.
I love it.
I am excited.
Imagine if this is what gets him close to Desmond.
I could see that. I could see that. I don't know. Like, I mean, nothing else is fucking worse.
Like, you are.
Yeah, trauma bonding or like.
I like it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how the other parents, especially how Desmond's, are going to react to Damien.
Yeah,
like I know we talked about it before, but like I'm really curious about how they're going to play it off.
I mean, they will have to play it off in some way. It's not like it's not even about if they genuinely care for Damien. It's about this has some major repercussions about how people view us as political figures. So we have to say something.
Well, we did talk about the possibility, and this is like kind of cracked there, but also I could totally see it happening, is Lloyd coming in as psychiatrist to talk with the kids.
Yeah, I think we were joking about like, he's going to come in as a child psychiatrist to help the kids out.
I could honestly see that, though.
It's not crack theory. That's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, and that would help. That would open up a whole, can of worms about him having to interview Anya of all people, and like that would leave a whole lot of room for father-daughter bonding time. So that would be cool.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, man. I mean,
I'm just really excited to see what we're looking forward to going forward.
We're strapped in. This is the ride, baby.
We're in for a nice, leisurely paced roller coaster ride. Nothing crazy happening.
Yeah, with like a 90-degree drop, just straight down to the bottom. Like,
and now we're back on solid ground now. Just going along,
Yeah.
Oh, nice little loopity loop or some shit. I don't know.
I don't even know anymore, man.
Yeah, I don't
Talking
know.
nonsense. Yeah. So
But it's very exciting. It is.
It's very exciting. Can't wait for the next chapter. Other than that, I mean, it's weird not having to talk about the anime, but yeah, I guess
it's a nice change of pace.
We did have a lot to talk about, but
yeah, we did have a lot to talk about. Yes, and I have a sneaking suspicion that this next coming podcast is going to be just as long. So yeah. Hopefully we won't have internet trouble next time, but you never know with us. So yeah. It's all good. But I mean, I think that covers it, guys. I think we did a good job of voicing all of our theories for the next one. We'll have to wait a couple weeks to see if they come to fruition, but I think at least one of the things that we discussed is going to come true. So I don't know. We'll see. But
hopefully,
yeah, definitely. I mean, we've had. Whoa, no, go ahead.
That just reminded me. I forgot. Everyone made bingo cards about what they thought would happen for this chapter, and they were like, "Oh man, we almost had a bingo, but it didn't go all the way." And I was like, "Hey, maybe hold on to the next couple of chapters. It might lead into some of this shit." So
it probably will. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, some of the bingo cards were really funny. I took some screenshots of some that got shared.
Oh, so, yeah? I'll try to flash them across the screen.
All right. Let's see. There was one from Clairvoyant Harp Seal. Tessa, she had Yuri dies.
Straight up dies. Okay.
Yeah. Garden lore. Henderson dies.
Oh, God.
Kaboom. Damien pees his pants.
God damn it.
These are all the ones that didn't happen, obviously.
Well, obviously.
The kids take down the bad guys.
Kind of.
E and E, so Ewan and Emil take a bullet for Damien.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That was Tessa's. Then there was another one from Camzilla. She did... Oh, my bad. This one's the same one that Tessa did. I guess they were just looking at the same one. Never mind. The people, I guess, were... Okay, they were copying some that were made before. I didn't realize they did not make them, but I can look further back for that later. But the point is, we were all really overjoyed. We were overjoyed to have this chapter come out, and we really just wanted to guess what could possibly happen. So everyone made bingo cards for fun.
Yeah, we were wrong apparently, or I don't know. Some of these were cracks to begin with, but
some of it was right. But yeah,
yeah. But I don't know. Maybe we'll make a bingo card beforehand, and we'll see if it plays out next chapter.
We should make a bingo card for this podcast of what are the things we fucking do in this podcast that could be stamped off on.
Oh God. Roski sings. That'll be one.
Us going woo. Us saying our brain is mush and we don't know what the hell we're talking about. The internet goes out.
Internet goes out.
Us saying some horrible, disgusting shit that gets cut out, or we're gonna cut this out. Joke.
Yeah, and then Crow doesn't. That's a separate square.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll get our bingo cards going. You folks listening at home, do the same, and we'll compare next time. But in the meantime, we'll wrap it up for today. And I don't know. That's it. My brain's mush. Thank y'all for listening.
That's another
Thank
one for
you
the
for
bingo
watching.
card.
That's on the bingo card. We'll see you all again soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.